Yo, what is up? So we got the engine finally all assembled, or most of it. I can go ahead and show you the pistons and everything, or the new pistons that I put in there. I went ahead and honed it out as best as I can. So I do feel a little skeptical about cylinder number 5, but it's not too bad. It should be a-okay. So what I'm doing today is I am going to try to get this thing done. Like, I'm going to try to get the transmission onto there. Even though the water pump's not on there, I can just do that when the engine's in the car. So one thing that I am doing to modify is I'm rerouting the coolant line, because the OEM one runs right underneath it, right underneath the turbo, and it gets really hot. Like, it's literally right underneath there where the metal coolant line goes to. So I went ahead and cut this part off, bent it as best as I could to go underneath the manifold. That way it's not right directly by the manifold where it gets super hot. And if I show you the head gasket, or the head, look at that, you see that? The coolant passage on the exhaust side is so blown, because, you know, the guy must have beat the hell out of this thing. But look at that, all the portholes looks just like cylinder number 1, all blown on the exhaust side. So this thing definitely got a lot of heat, but I'm just gonna be dailying this thing just to drive it for now. I know I shouldn't rush this, but I'm gonna try to rush this thing. And here's the old pistons. I believe this one's cylinder number 5, the one that broke because it was so seized on there. All the pistons were seized. Man, it's super cold. Whew. So yeah, check out this new turbo though. It's a CT26, but it looks a little bit smaller. What do you guys think? On camera it looks bigger. And then here's the OEM one, or the stock one. Stock one looks a little bit bigger, I want to say. But that one's done for. It's not seized, but I don't really want to take off the turbo again. But yeah, here's this new CT26. I got the new oil lines kit that came with it. Looks pretty neat. Ran it underneath here. So I'm just gonna try to get the part that I can't get to from when the engine's in the car. So oil filter, I mean, I can get that from inside the car too. Oil pan is on. Rods are torqued down, you know, 47 foot-pounds. Mains is done. But yeah, check this thing out. It's coming along pretty nicely. I still got to put in the valve covers because I am going to retorque the head down when the engine's in the car. So I did break the cold start line. This is supposed to be like a little line that comes to the fuel rail. But one thing that I found, that the knock sensor, where is it? Anyways, I have a bunch of these knock sensors just laying around, and it fits right over here. So if I start this thing and if it runs without the cold start, which I'm sure it should, as long as it doesn't leak, it'll be fine. And then I'll probably just use my cold start injector, since I don't use that, and just throw it into this one. Alternator, I'll put that in when the engine's in the car, you know, piece of cake. But so far everything seems okay. Right now I'm probably gonna get the engine off the stand, get the transmission on there. And so one thing that I forgot about is the torque converter. I broke one of the bolts on this side. I would get a new one, but I can just take out the transmission from the engine in the car if I do need to switch that out, if it does go off balance. But here it is. She's assembled. She's looking pretty neat. But yeah, I'm going ahead and just time lapse it and see how long it's going to take me, even though it's super cold. But I'm wearing a bunch of layers. What else? Yeah, I think this is good. I'm just going to torque everything down and go from there. Alright, so another thing is the Iac Control Valve. This is my old intake from a long time ago. This is the only one I had. I'll run it for now. I'm sure it might leak a little bit. We'll see. I was planning on swapping my intake from my older one, or from my black one to this one, because I'm planning on getting a front face intake for that one. I mean, I already have one. I just gotta fix it up. There's some welds that needs to be done still. Oh yeah, so the black Supra, the reason why I was cutting out was because I had my KPA, my map sensor set to 250, and that's 22 or 21.5 psi, and I was going 252, so I was like, I was pretty much hitting boost cut, which is like a safety thing, which is pretty nice. It's weird because I turned on my manual boost controller. I'm guessing since it's so cold, maybe it's frozen, but I do hear the wastegate opening. I might need to turn it down more. We'll see. I'll most likely probably turn it down. But yeah, that's why the black Supra was cutting out. It's hitting boost cut at 22 psi. Another thing that I did do is I am doing an Egr Delete. So usually stock would be like this, it would have like this bigger plate that'd go over, so it would suck some exhaust side through the intake and pretty much gunk things up on the intake side. So I'm doing the Egr Delete, and I am going to block off the coolant line over here that goes to the Iac. And yeah, so far that's what I did. That's what I usually do to all my 7Ms. This is probably like a third Supra that I've worked on, or fourth, or fifth. I think it's fifth. There was these two other Supras that I worked on, but it was just blown head gasket. But rebuilding, this is my second. I guess second. There she is. Finally off the stand. Looks a little bent. Alright, I just gotta tighten these ones down. I didn't take this off, but I trust that it'll stay on. Alright, so I was gonna send it, but I thought I'd use my cobalt to see if it would come out. And look at this. I drilled it in, and look, it wants to come out. It's definitely loose. It spins in there. Alright guys, I am able to get it out. Check this out. slowly coming out. That's so satisfying. Yeah! Finally got the bolts out. Dude, that is satisfying. I guess I didn't have to send it. Alright guys, so I need to look for some bolts for these because the bolt is just barely sticking out. So I don't know why I did it with the other bolts. I didn't touch it in a while just because it was cold, and so I'm gonna go ahead and get some washers and just use whatever gets on there. I'm gonna end it here. So if anything, you know, the transmission is just gonna go on and starter, and I think I'm gonna call that good for now and get another block off plate for the intake for the EGR side. But other than that, I gotta make a run to the store. End the video here so it's not too long. Hope you guys enjoyed. I know it's gonna be a sketchy build, but I've done this before and everything looks good to me. I didn't take it to a machine shop. The head doesn't seem that bad, block doesn't seem that bad, even though it was all blown in the exhaust side.